All right, now looking at congruency, or if these triangles are congruent, that's a little bit different than if they're similar. That means that they are absolutely identical. The only different would be their location or orientation, so they could be flipped or rotated, reflected, but their scale factors will be identical. So, we're not going to look at the ratios, they need to be identical. So there are side, side, side. Basically, that says that if two triangles have three congruent corresponding sides, they have to be congruent. You can't take those three sides and make a different triangle from it. Side, angle, side. So if we look at the side, angle, side, so a side and an angle included between those two sides, they are congruent. And if we have an angle and then the two sides attached to that angle are also congruent, those two triangles are congruent. And then angle, angle, side, you could argue that angle, angle, side is really is the same as angle, side, angle. Okay, so I'll talk about that in the first question. So let's look at the first question here. So right away we have this angle. These two angles are congruent because those are vertical angles, okay? So we have angle, angle, side, right? Angle, 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 side right here. We have that. But we could argue and say, you know what? Because we have two angles that are congruent, we know because of that triangle sum, this other angle is congruent. So you could say, well, it's angle, side, angle as well. So yes, these are congruent, but initially we would say angle, angle, side. Or if we want, we could also say angle, side, angle. If you have angle, angle, side, then you will have angle, side, angle as well. Okay, so they're kind of related. Let's look at the next one. We have parallel lines here. Okay, what do we know about these? Well, these angles here are congruent. Okay, and then we have these angles here are congruent. So, and this side is included. Okay, so when we learned about parallel lines and transversals, this question is a little bit tricky because we haven't really learned about these. So if we have two parallel lines here, if you think about this, if we look at this angle here, right, it's like a reflection of this angle here. That's what we have. So these red angles. And then likewise, if we look at these angles here, that's like this angle here. Same idea. So in this case, yes, they are congruent. And what's the postulate? Angle, side, angle. So we have, because these are sharing the same side, obviously they're congruent. So angle, side, angle. All right, so looking at the number 7, we've already got a pair of corresponding sides that are congruent. They are sharing this side, so that's congruent. So we have two sides. But we don't know anything about this angle here. So for example, this could potentially be right here, right? And have that same length. And clearly that would be they would not look congruent. So we only have two sides. We don't have any angles that are congruent here. So we're going to say no. There's no postulate to support that. We don't have side, side, side. Last one to look at for now. Let's take a look at, give me a different color. So here we have a pair of sides. This is shared. This side is shared, so those are congruent. So you can see we have side, angle, side. So this is a yes because of side, angle, side congruency.